Hello there, welcome to our very early morning chilly Facebook Live just after the coldest night of the year, I believe. Thank you for joining us. We're here with Mike, our head gardener, and of course I'm Victoria. And we just wanted to speak to you about our snowdrops. They are looking absolutely beautiful, aren't they, Mike? And as you can see, we're just along Baron's Walk, and if you don't know where that is along the side of the manor, and that's one of our walks on our walking trails online. So if you want to come have a look at them, please go onto our website and have a look at that walk. But here we are in the midst of the woods, and as you can see, there are just tons of snowdrops. They are beautiful. And so I suppose that's my first question to you. I see a lot of them here, Mike. Are they naturally growing like that, or have they been transplanted?
So snowdrops, they're not native to the UK, so
Okay.
they're naturalised. They were introduced before the 1700s, and most of the snowdrops that you see in really big estates and gardens just kind of seed themselves, or the garden team actually have gone around and divided them. So at this time of the year, what you can do is you can see our snowdrops are just in flower, and once they finish flowering, what you can do is you can dig the clumps up. It's called dividing a clump, and they use the term when it's in the green, so it's still got leaves in it. And you can simply just divide the clumps up into smaller groups and then replant them with a bulb planter. So snowdrops slightly more unusual than maybe normal bulbs like daffodils that you would plant in the autumn. And the other thing that you can do is during June you can lift the individual bulbs up, and this is how they do the more expensive snowdrops. And you actually take the bulb and you cut it into smaller sections, and then you basically get that to grow a new bulb, and then in about 3 years you'll get a flower off it.
Wow, there's such a process there I've never even considered, because you see them across the whole of the British countryside, and the fact that they're not actually native is remarkable. And as they're such an icon of the winter, and we always have them on our postcards and on our Christmas cards, how do they survive such cold conditions during the winter time?
So snowdrops are native right the way across Europe. So they grow in a lot of different environments. There are about 30 species of snowdrops. And now there are over a few thousand different cultivars. And people who collect snowdrops are called galanthophiles. and so just to give you an idea, so there was one bulb sold a few years ago, a galanthus called Golden Fleece, and it was sold on eBay, and it went, so in just one single galanthus or snowdrop bulb, and it went for £1,325. Yeah, so people collect snowdrops. Our collection is mainly made up of Galanthus nivalis, which is our native snowdrop, and then a few other different forms. But it's a pretty pure collection. And Galanthus or snowdrops survive really by having the ability to overwinter. So they naturally grow in a cold climate, and they're able to overwinter quite successfully. So they're what we would call hardy. And then if you notice snowdrops during the frost, the flowers will kind of wilt a little bit, and then as soon as the frost starts to lift, they'll stand back up again. And basically what the plant does is it moves more sugar into its stem and creates like its own antifreeze. And then as the temperature rises, then it dilutes the sugar back out so the plant can stand up normally. And that's how a lot of plants overwinter. So they almost, if you think about them, they create their own antifreeze.
So they're so intelligent that they have that ability to adapt. And tell us about their other characteristics.
So I've got a snowdrop flower here. So a snowdrop is a bulb. So down here in the ground level there would be a small white bulb, and then above that a few leaves. And then the snowdrop flower itself is made up of basically 3 what they call tepals, so coloured leaves. And if I peel those back, you'll see that there's 3 central leaves in the middle. Okay, so this on Galanthus nivalis, the inside of the leaves are green. And just to show you kind of how kind of collectible snowdrops are, some of the most expensive snowdrops don't have green on the inside. They might have a yellow spot on the outside, and that might be the only difference. It'll be the yellow colour rather than the green, and it depends on the size of the flower, whether it's a double, whether it's a single, but you are looking at quite small detail. I say so just to give you an overview of the Latin name, the scientific name. So Galanthus, if we break that down, Gala is Greek for milk, and anthus is Latin for flower, so it's called the milk flower. We know it as the snowdrop, and that's really because it flowers in the UK when we do occasionally get snow, and in Yorkshire it's known as the snowbell or the frost breaker, so something slightly different. And then basically nivalis, so the other part of the scientific name for snowdrop, means snow or early flowering. So it's one of our winter flowers. Winter bulbs is one of the first ones to flower. So that's a breakdown of the leaf. Now the other thing that is quite interesting. So we mentioned about digging the bulbs up and dividing them and creating big drifts of snowdrops. Snowdrops will actually naturalise themselves if the conditions are right. And the seed of a snowdrop has a very tiny tail on the back of it. So when the seed is dispersed onto the ground, as ants run past, the seed hitches a ride on the back of the ant. And then as the ant wanders off, the seed will fall off later on. And that's how they naturalise much larger areas.
That is
quite
remarkable.
an amazing plant.
That really is. And so how do you know that? Have you been studying them quite closely?
No.
Looking
Yeah,
for the ants.
to spend most of my time when I'm not working lying down on the ground watching ants pull snowdrops around. No, there are a number of plants that use ants to disperse the seeds. So hellebores do a similar thing, and the ants kind of pick the seeds up and move them around. And it's just a natural dispersal system. So the plants evolved with that, along with ants, to move them around.
And I assume when you talk about the breakdown of the name, that's come from the heritage of the plant.
Yes.
And since the 1700s, what you were talking about with the history. That's really remarkable. In fact, it's been broken down. Great. And then this is one spot where you can see them at Waddesdon, but where are the other spots on the estate?
So we've got quite a nice group of snowdrops just to the left of the house. So if it'd actually be the right if you were walking towards the main entrance of the house from the North Fountain. Off on the mound between Avery Glade, between the Avery and the house itself, there's quite a nice bank of snowdrops just starting to fall there. And then if you want to see snowdrops with winter flowering hellebores, then Tulip Patch, which is just beyond the stables, making your way down the hill that way, and there's a mass drift of snowdrops down there with hellebores flowering in between.
Lovely. And if you don't know where these places are, I'll make sure that we put a list down and just tell you the locations after the Facebook Live. So watch the space and I'll show you where to go to see our snowdrops. So just final question, where is your favourite spot and why to see our snowdrops?
Now there's a good question. I think it has to be Baron's Walk. I think because of, if you see the view from Baron's Walk as it looks down across Waddesdon, that's the best place. And I just love the way the snowdrops are naturalised on both sides.
Especially this morning with the frost, it looks absolutely beautiful, doesn't it? An iconic scene for the winter time. Thank you so much, thank you. And please do come over and have a look at our snowdrops, they look absolutely gorgeous. Do you know how long they're going to be here for?
So I would suggest that over the next 2 weekends will be the best time.
Okay.
To see them, but we'll keep posting to let you know how they're doing.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you.
Lovely. So please do come and have a look at our snowdrops. Have a lovely day, despite it being very chilly. Wrap up warm, and we hope to see you soon. Bye.
Bye.